Okay, what's up, y'all? I've been following this extensively on Twitter for the last couple of days to see if there have been any outcome or any response to the recent backlash for the 20% fee that developers would pay per install. They only responded with two tweets, and one of them is saying basically, "We've heard you, we apologize for the confusion. An extra runtime fee we announced on Tuesday caused. We're listening, talking to our team members, community, customers, and partners, and we'll be making changes to the policy. We'll share an update in a couple days. Thank you for your honest and critical feedback." Now, obviously, they didn't expect it would get this out of control. The fact that everybody, almost everybody in Unity, people who aren't even part of Unity are upset about this. I'm upset about it, even though I'm an Unreal Engine developer. But they finally broke their silence. Well, technically not yet. It was leaked in an article by a reputable source, I may add, Bloomberg. They produce reputable articles all the time based on fact. And the fact that this is in Bloomberg says a lot. So apparently this is what's been leaked about how they're going to change the prices, the response to the whole thing. So just hear me out and I'll just talk about it as I go along. So the title of this article, and by the way, I'll leave a link to it in the description so you can read the whole thing for yourself and check it out. And we'll see if this is actually what they'll be doing. But the title says Unity overhauls controversial price hike after game developers revolt. Video game toolmaker Unity Software said Monday it's backtracking on major aspects of controversial new price hike, telling staff in an all-hands-on meeting that it's now considering changes, including a cap on potential fees. Unity, which operates and licenses a suite of video game development tools called the Unity Engine, set off a firestorm last week when it announced plans to charge customers for every new installation of their game after a certain threshold. Yeah, this is what everybody's pissed about. The decision triggered widespread protests, leading several video game makers to say they would boycott Unity until the policy changed. I made a video about that, but they're not really talking about how crazy this actually got. I think they just want to make this short and sweet, but there were actually death threats. They had to shut down 2 Unity facilities because of that, and I think the death threat came from actually a Unity employee. So people who are working for Unity are even pissed about this, not just the customers. Under the tentative new plan, which they're talking about, Unity will limit fees. So now this is what they're potentially going to change it to. This is what they're talking about in their meetings. So it says under the tentative new plan, Unity will limit fees to 4 cents instead of 20 of a gamer's revenue for customers making over $1 million US, and said that installations counted toward reaching the threshold won't be retroactive. Retroactive means that it won't charge people for games that have been installed in the past before this goes live, because I think before, and correct me if I'm wrong, it said they were going to be charged for all past installs as well. And that would be crazy for people who were wildly successful with their games, their installs. That would be nuts. I think that was a part of the outrage. But still, I don't really agree with anything being charged for installs. Unity was an innocent company that was known for its community and its customer relations. It was just known as a fun-loving game development company, as far as I know, as far as I've researched from it. Putting anything like this is just tainting its name altogether, no matter how much it is. But let's move on. So they said towards reaching the threshold won't be retroactive. According to recording of the meeting reviewed by Bloomberg last week, CEO John Riccitiello delayed an all-hands meeting on the pricing changes and closed 2 offices after the company received what is said as a credible death threat. I didn't know they were going to include this, but the company apologized to customers on Sunday and said it would be making changes to the pricing policy. Mark Whitten, a Unity executive, said the company hasn't yet announced the latest changes because executives are still running them by partners and don't want to repeat last week's communications debacle, which led to several clarifications. They're calling it a communications debacle flat out, man. They made these changes and people were upset and they were just responding to them. Bottom line. One of the most controversial elements of the policy concerned how Unity would track installations of its software. Like, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. How do they even know how many installations there are? And this led to all of the controversy about, review bombers or people who just don't like your game or just hating on you in general, being able to uninstall and install your game over and over again and just working in packs doing it. So what they said about this is that although the company first said it would use proprietary tools, Whitten said Monday management will rely on users to self-report the data. okay, you're really gonna put trust in users to self-re? Nobody's gonna want to do that. I mean, come on, man, just leave it the way it is. What is going on here? Now, in the meeting, Riccatello emphasized that the new policy is designed to generate more revenue from the company's biggest consumers and that more than 90% of the Unity users won't be affected. Okay, this is what I was talking about before. Also, I was going to talk about this in another video. It's not necessarily about the fact that 90% of the people won't be affected, only the people who are making a lot of revenue from their installations in their games. It's also about the fact that you're actually introducing this in the first place. Because once it's in the door and contractually bound, it's in here, it's in the company, and it can be changed later on. See, this is how things like that work. They bring things in an innocent manner so that it doesn't look as bad for the consumers or whatever. And then as time goes by, they slowly start to increase to make more money. Now, John Riccatello has already shown his merit in how he does things based on working at EA. He's one of the main reasons why microtransactions are so prevalent in gaming today. So honestly, man, I just don't trust people like that. I mean, that meeting alone that was leaked when he was talking about where, oh, let's possibly get these gamers when they're, in the heat of battle in Battlefield. Let's say if they run out of ammo, the possibility of charging them $1. That's just crazy. A concept like that, somebody who thinks like that. I mean, you can't trust somebody like that, man. I don't personally. But in response to this, several employees asked during the meeting how Unity would bounce back from the appeared to be a breach of trust. Executives said the company would have to show, not tell, and handle future communications more carefully. I don't think there's any version of this that would have gone down a whole lot differently than what happened, Riccatello said. It is a massively transformational change to our business model. Facts, agreed. But he acknowledged, I think we could have done a lot better. Well, I mean, at least he's saying that. But, I mean, after this article, and that's the end of it, I'll leave a link to it so you can go read it for yourself. But tell me what you guys think about this down below. Honestly, it's at the point to where right now, it's already been done, man. The damage is already done. For you to pull a stunt like this, you just breach the consumers and the customers' trust, and people don't look at Unity the same anymore. I know I don't. I mean, I was actually even considering trying to, learn Unity just for the sake of having versatility in the game dev world, learning different coding languages and just expanding my horizons. But that's out the door for me. I'm not interested in that. And it doesn't matter that they're decreasing it and making it 4 cents instead of 20. The fact is that it's in the door and the cat is out the bag. But I still feel the same about everything after this article. I don't think that this changes anything for me. They said this is a leak, but Bloomberg is a reputable company that produces very concrete articles, and I believe that you can trust them. So tell me what you think of this down below. Did this change anything for you? Do you feel the same about Unity? Are you still going to stick with them? And like I said, we don't know if this is actually solid facts about, whether or not this is going to go through. But we'll see how the community reacts to this. I think that it's going to be the same. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Appreciate you watching the video. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.